Enjoy unlimited fiber at home. Now made faster with 150 Mbps. PLDT Home. Subscribe now.
With Smart's new Power All 99, I have the power to do what I want with 8 gigabytes for all sites and apps, plus only TikTok and only text. Best choice I made. Load now!
PLDT and Smart fight online child abuse. Think of the internet as a city. Within the city are different blocks where offices are built. The roads that run across the city would be the network of PLDT and Smart. The passing cars would be the information or files that go around the city. Within the city are bad people lurking in the shadows, and some of them take advantage of children, posting explicit photos and videos. Let's say one city block represents a domain. If one domain is a known haven for child sexual abuse materials, PLDT and Smart can simply block the roads leading to that entire district, preventing customers from getting into these offices. But the challenge comes when files are being uploaded from specific offices located in the city blocks, where legitimate businesses are also operating. PLDT and Smart can't cut the road leading to the entire district because that would mean cutting access to offices operating legally. So, PLDT and Smart.
To our dearest teachers, I personally want to thank you po for playing a huge role in our lives, for your patience and hard work to teach us many things, bukod po dun sa mga dapat naming matutunan sa school, pati na rin po yung mga life lessons that you've taught us and that we should always bring wherever we are and as we move on to the next chapter of our lives and as we grow old. May you continue to bring out the best in us, your learners, as we share the knowledge to others and be an inspiration to many. Happy National Teachers Month!
To all our teachers, thank you for the love, patience, and guidance and for sharing your wisdom to us. Happy National Teachers Month!
Hello to all the amazing teachers out there. I'm Jada, and I'd like to just say thank you on behalf of all students for bringing out the best in us and for helping us realize and maximize our full potential to reach for our dreams. Happy Teachers Day to you all. May you all feel a little more loved and recognized on this day.
A joyful afternoon to everyone, most especially to our beloved teachers. Nagagalak akong makasama kayong lahat sa araw na ito upang talakayin ang usaping child rights and online safety. I am Joy Ortega and I am very excited to host this very special, very important event. As we talk about the safety of our children, this National Teachers Month, as well as this Cyber Security Awareness Month, through this event entitled Better Today for Kids, in collaboration with ECPAT Philippines and powered by our partners from PLDT and Smart. Online learning has been the norm for the past few years. Generally, the internet has been essential and has become the medium to bring students closer to you, our teachers and guardians, to continue to educate and guide the students to keep their academic goals on track. However, a larger danger lies within the internet waiting to harm our children, to misinformation and privacy breaches, also physically, mentally, and socially. It's easy to lure children to misinformation and privacy breaches, as well as exposure to violence, exploitation, and abuse. Kaya kinakailangan na may sapat na kaalaman tayo ukol sa usaping ito. Parents, and most especially kayo pong aming mga mahal na guro, we need to uphold children's rights and promote their well-being. We need to understand how to reduce the risk of harm and take advantage of valuable resources and opportunities for educational needs that help build resilience in children. And to help us understand all of these and guide us better to protecting our children, meron po tayong mga esteemed speakers for today. We are honored to have with us Ms. Catherine Diaz de Rivera to talk about internet and opportunities for children. And to run us through the internet and its risk to children, we have Sir Gino Corral from ECPAT Philippines. We also have Sir Yves Gonzalez from Google to discuss about Be Internet Awesome for educators and parents. And lastly, we have Edric and Joy Mendoza to guide us through digital parenting for Gen Zs and Alpha. So there, as you can see, we have a lot in store for you today. Pero bago tayo magsimula, meron tayong mabilisang icebreaker para lang siguradong alert tayo sa buong programa. Simple lang ang icebreaker natin. I just ask this or that question, tapos just answer through our emojis. So if you answer this, please use the thumbs up emoji. And when you answer that, please use the heart emoji. Mga 5 questions lang po ito para we can get to know you better. At magandang opportunity rin ito upang ma-encourage kayo to use our reaction buttons throughout the whole program. Para alam naman namin na alive and kicking pa rin kayong lahat dyan. Kaway-kaway! So let's start. These questions are just simple. It may be answered based on what you prefer or pwede din kung ano sa tingin ninyo ang mas gusto ng ating mga students. Okay? Alright. Ang first icebreaker natin, online classes or face-to-face classes? Ano kaya? Mixed reaction po yan eh. Okay. Ang second po nating icebreaker, in-class quiz or homework? Naku, maraming may gusto sa klase na lang. Ayaw na mag-homework pag-uwi. Pero kayo po, ano sa palagay niyo? Very good. Next icebreaker, lunch break or recess? Paboritong subject ko po yan. Parang mas gusto ko yung lunch break kasi mahaba-haba. Kayo po, please react. Our fourth icebreaker, elementary or high school? Parang mas madali ng elementary, pero parang mas exciting sa high school. I'd like to hear from you. And our final icebreaker, teachers passing out test exams from lowest to highest or reading students' grades aloud? Nako, mahirap po yan. Sana i-announce na lang yung pinakamataas. Ayun po, nakakatuwang makita na madaming nagpa-participate. So throughout the program, we would like to encourage everyone to be as attentive, katulad ng pinakita nyo dito sa icebreaker natin. Maraming salamat po. And now, to officially welcome everyone to this event, we have Ms. Catherine Yap Yang, First Vice President and Group Head of Corporate Communications for PLDT and SMART. Let's watch this.
Grateful to see all of us, our youth's allies, coming together today for the common good. We're also excited to celebrate National Teachers Month with you while taking on this collaboration to promote children's well-being. We know that children, the youth of today, will be the people of tomorrow. What we do today will define their future, which is why we must recognize the role that we, as their allies, play in creating a better and smarter world for the younger generation. Our lives are now mostly driven by technology. Our children, being digital natives, are growing up in a much more empowering environment, all thanks to the availability and accessibility of digital tools and services. With this new era, acquiring new skills and knowledge, and connecting with people from different cultures beyond physical borders have become possible. On the flip side, as children, they remain vulnerable to the risks and threats from the online space. As their allies, it is our duty to actively ensure that our youth will experience the kind of digital experience everyone deserves, enjoyable and insightful, yet also safe and secure. We at PLDT and Smart continuously work to help the youth and their allies turn this into reality. Through our Better Today initiative, we aim to help educate and empower Filipinos on digital well-being, including family and child online safety. PLDT and Smart are also committed to enabling Filipinos with access to opportunities through advanced digital technology while ensuring the safety and security of all our customers. Aside from investing in our network infrastructure to improve safety and security, we're also working with partners in the public and private sectors to ensure the best and safest digital experience for all internet users. This mission would be impossible without our partners, the youth's allies, our teachers, school administrators, and guardians who are here today ready to combat online risks and threats with us for our children. In today's learning session, we look forward to helping each other equip ourselves with digital literacy and online safety skills so we can better protect the youth and everyone around us. We are here today to work towards creating a better today for our children, including us, their allies, so that we can all be at our best tomorrow and in the days ahead. On behalf of PLDT and Smart, thank you very much and have a great day to everyone.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Miss Kathy. As what Miss Kathy mentioned, the Better Today initiative will empower us to actively ensure that our kids experience the kind of digital experience they deserve. You see, your presence here symbolizes your desire to improve the well-being of our children. So give yourselves a round of applause. Mabuhay. And now, to set up for the topics which will be tackled today, please give a virtual warm welcome to ECPAT Executive Director, Ms. Ana Maria Dionela.
Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues, teachers, friends, PLDT partner. I'm Ana Junela from ECPAT Philippines, joining you in this very auspicious event. This is National Teachers Month, and what better way to really give recognition and support to our teachers than to hold this forum, this very important forum, which is titled Better Today for Kids, Protecting Children in the Digital World. You know, when we first met PLDT, who is the main proponent of this forum, we knew that we will have a shared vision. PLDT recognizes children's rights, and as very responsible corporate leaders, they have chosen to really look at all the issues surrounding children as they navigate the digital world. And so they recognize ECPAT as also having this vision that children will be protected from all forms of abuse. And as we know, digital world offers a lot of advantages as well as disadvantages. PLDT was ahead of the game, so to speak, and therefore involved major stakeholders like you. And I'm very happy that teachers like me, I'm a teacher also, are participating in this because teachers are the ones also safeguarding their children's rights in school and in the community, of course, and with their families. And therefore, we're very, very happy to collaborate on this effort. We know this will go a long way. This is not a one-day event, I hope. You know, you teachers, you have been doing a lot already, and we're happy that our teachers, particularly in ECPAT areas in Quezon City, Taguig, Laguna, and Bohol, and many others are participating in this very eventful forum. So we'd like to congratulate everyone and welcome you all to this event, which I hope will continue beyond this day. So thank you again to PLDT Smart. I would like to specially mention Kat Diaz de Rivera and Wo, who was really very instrumental And we have met them several times, and we know that their hearts are in the right direction. And we hope to continue to work with them. May our partnership flourish. And with all of you stakeholders there, we are very, very confident that our children will be protected really in the digital world, and their tomorrow will be better. Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you very much, Miss Anna. Siyempre, ayaw na natin maantala pa ang ating programa, kaya simulan na natin ito with our first speaker. May konting reminders lang po. Everyone is encouraged to use the emojis throughout the event. If ever may questions po tayo, please feel free to type it in our chat box. And at the end of the presentations, we will have a quick Q&A, and our speakers will be answering your questions live po dito sa event. You are also free to share this video to anyone, and we encourage you to use the hashtags Better Today and My Teacher, My Frontline Hero. This will be our official hashtags for today's event. So without further ado, please welcome our first speaker, Stakeholder Management Executive for PLDT and SMART, Ms. Catherine Diaz de Rivera.
Thank you, Miss Joy. Happy Teachers Month to our dear teachers, faculty, administrators, parents, co-parents and guardians, colleagues, partners, and friends. It heartens me to see all of us here today, coming from different generations and from different sectors of society, united for a common purpose, our children. In PLDT and SMART, we created Better Today, a collaborative initiative and platform that champions our advocacies on wellness, safe spaces, and change making in the digital world. Next slide, please. We have always had that regard for our children and our youth as the people of tomorrow, the inheritors of the future and of the world that we, grown ups, and you, our teachers, are creating today. At some point, however, we need to come to terms with the fact that today's generation of children are living in a unique context. Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide, please. In Better Today, we create meaningful connections, promote safe spaces, and cultivate a culture of empathy for a better tomorrow, starting today. Today's children are the so-called digital natives. They are growing up in a world that is much more capable of empowering young people. With the internet and digital technology as the great catalyst of their generation, they get access to knowledge at a faster pace, meet people and cultures beyond physical borders, enjoy a relatively complex experience of play, and thrive in creative spaces that may seem unimaginable for the rest of us because of their dynamic sense of wonder and access to a seemingly bigger digital world. We adults can learn so much from our children today. Next slide, please. For most of us, learning from our children may come in the simplest forms, discovering funny memes on Facebook or the newest dance crazes on TikTok, video calling our comares, our titas, and relatives abroad, or even signing up online for our LGU's vaccination drive. To my fellow parents here, our teachers, what new learning or practical skills have you picked up from your own children lately? Next slide, please. While our children are enabled and empowered today, they still remain vulnerable. With too much freedom and unguided exposure to the digital world, our young ones may suffer from different kinds of harms, abuses, and sexual exploitation. Again, to my fellow parent teachers who are here, have we asked ourselves lately, even while our student children are just at home, how safe are they really today? Next slide, please. Recognizing the increasingly urgent need to equip, help our teachers, our co parents, and communities to be even more vigilant and more discerning today. We at PLDT and SMART are continuously finding ways to leverage on our technology and network of resources to keep our children safer online. We have added a layer of protection via our 24/7 network security systems to combat mosaic and mitigate the exposure of our children and our customers to illegal sites. We have pioneered for the Philippine business community a child safeguarding policy that can institutionalize the work that we do for the safety of our children in both our online and offline business operations. We continue to develop and offer services that help our customers make their children better at learning, creating, socializing, playing, and safer in the digital space. Among the notable children's rights collaborations under the PLDT Group's Better Today initiative is the Safer Spaces program with youth organizations like Kids for Kids PH and Safer Kids PH, the consortium of UNICEF, Save the Children, Asia Foundation, and the Australian Embassy. As a community-based multi-sectoral response against mosaic, Safer Spaces is aimed at strengthening child protection systems through the rollout of capacity building interventions for the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children or BCPC units under the jurisdiction of the Philippine Department of Interior and Local Government. BCPCs have been created to take charge of planning, implementing activities, and addressing issues pertaining to children in the grassroots. Thank you. In 2021, the PLDT Group and its partners piloted the Safer Spaces for Kids program in the three BCPC units in Cagayan de Oro and Iligan City, and will continue on as we prepare to roll out our second phase in the coming weeks in three more cities and seven barangays. These areas have been selected to their active trajectory of localized child protection efforts and readiness for intervention combating OSAIC. The group provided and will continue to provide equipment and connectivity services to enable BCPC telemedicine and online counseling for mosaic cases. The PLDT group also supported specialized trainings on child protection and mosaic response for BCPC members, parent councils, and youth representatives in these program areas. Beyond these pilot areas and efforts, the group is working with its partners to bring the program and its framework to more areas in the country where children are most at risk for mosaic. Hence, we are grateful and honored to be part of this intergenerational and multi-sectoral initiative for Kids, with Kids for Kids PH, Safer Kids PH, and the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children, and the city governments of Cagayan de Oro and Iligan City, and more partners to come. We pledge to continually share the goal of transforming our communities, our homes, and ourselves towards ensuring safer and better spaces for our children, both online and offline. We also endeavor to continue being part of collaborative policy making and solutions, and to share our enabling technology to make our systems and institutions better for our children and for the larger community. As we work to continually future proof our business and contribute to a hashtag better world, we commit to stay true to what we put out there, to live smarter and be better today for our children. Sa huli, tandaan po nating lahat na kung ang kabataan ang ating kinabukasan, alagaan dapat natin sila sa kasulukuyan. On behalf of PLDT and SMART, thank you so much, and again, happy Teachers Month and a blessed day to all of you. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Joy.
Thank you so much, Miss Kat, for being part of this timely and relevant initiative. Now, as you heard from our first speaker, being better today is not a simple task. However, it does start from somewhere or something. Maybe a simple task can help to being better today. As to have a better tomorrow, we have to be better today. Okay. So again, Talagang super exciting itong event natin today. But before we move on to the next speaker, I would just like to remind everyone that our raffle registration is only up to 3 p.m. Kung nakita nyo na yung post ko sa Facebook, di alam nyo na kung ano yung mga premyo natin today. Napaka-exciting po. So please, don't forget to register before 3 p.m. We will flash again the link in the chat box, the link to the registration. It will be sent there. So go, register now and join the raffle. Moving on to our second speaker, may konting babala lang po sa susunod na paksa. We may touch on online sexual abuse and exploitation of children, or OSAEC. But please be reminded that these discussions are intended to raise awareness, address concerns, and give empowerment, and not to cause any form of distress or offense. To officially begin the conversation, I'm opening the floor to the Program Officer for Child Online Protection from ECPAT Philippines. Please give a virtual warm applause to Mr. Gino Corral.
Thank you and good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon sa lahat ng teachers na kasama natin today. Happy Teachers Month everyone, and we're very happy na you are with us in this very important discussion about digital safety and the protection of children in the digital environment. I'm Gino Corral and I'm from ECPAT Philippines, an NGO working against all forms of sexual exploitation of children. And I'm going to share with you my presentation about internet and the risk to children. And of course, when we talk about children and the internet, first we have to understand how children behaves in the online environment. And we have to, when we talk about children in the cyberspace, we have to understand na yung cyberspace, ito na yung naging important part ng buhay ng mga bata ngayon. Kung mapapansin natin, lalo na nung pandemic, sobrang importante ng naging role ng internet or ng cyberspace sa buhay ng mga bata. Ito na rin yung naging community nila, ito na rin yung naging schoolyard nila, at ito na yung naging neighborhood nila. Dito na umiikot yung majority ng oras at buhay ng mga bata. And importante itong malaman natin because also yung self-esteem ng mga bata, yung kanilang likes and followers dun sa online environment or sa cyberspace, sobrang importante to sa kanilang pag-grow bilang mga bata. So yung comments and likes and views, they take them very seriously. Kaya importante to as duty bearers, alam natin yung how they appreciate or how they value yung buhay nila in the cyberspace, because kung bakit ba sila nag-share ng mga photos, why are they adding strangers, ito yung mga reasons behind dyan. At we have to very sensitive and very understandable, parang ganon, kung bakit sila nagbe-behave the way they behave using the internet and whenever they are in the cyberspace. And when we talk about also children in the online environment, we have to consider two things. Unang-una dyan, yung actions of the child online. So, but we have to remember, whenever a child is online, we have to remember na bata yung mga yan. So, a child is any person na below the age of 18 as mandated by the different laws and international instruments natin, legal instruments natin. And whenever a child is online or offline, whether they are online or offline, they are covered dapat ng mga protection laws natin, and as duty bearers, pinoprotectionan pa rin natin sila. Kahit nandoon sila sa sarili nilang mundo, sa mga social media, sa mga online games nila, they are still children as long as they are below the age of 18 at covered sila ng mga rights na meron ang lahat ng bata. And also, yung representation ng mga bata online. Whenever a child has an image or a video or whatnot sa internet, dapat protected siya dun sa image na yon. Anong ibig sabihin yan? So kung may video siya or photo nung 14 years old siya at umabot na siya ng adulthood, naging 24 years old na siya after 10 years, dapat yung photo na yon na medyo explicit or medyo violating the rights ng bata, dapat protected pa rin siya kahit adult na siya at the present moment. Dahil yung representation ng image na yon ay yung representation ng bata. So we have to consider those things whenever we want we're talking about protection of children in the online environment. And syempre, alam naman natin, we're very much familiar already kung ano ba yung sinasabi nating major risk right now na kinakaharap ng mga bata sa online environment. Unang-una dyan, yung online sexual abuse and exploitation of children or OSAEC sa Philippine abbreviation natin or yung OSAEC. Siyempre, ibig sabihin yan, lahat ng sexual exploitation na ginagawa sa bata using the internet as a means covered dyan ng online sexual abuse and exploitation of children. Pwedeng nangyayari rin siya offline. For example, yung bata ay abused or exploited offline sa face-to-face, and then the images or videos of those abuse and exploitation is uploaded online. Part pa rin siya nung OSAEC na pinag-uusapan natin. And unti-unti, yung line between sexual exploitation and abuse of children sa online and offline environment often nagiging blur na siya dahil dun sa rapid evolution ng information and communications technology and yung sexual exploitation of children na merong online component, sobrang nagiging common na siya nowadays dahil mas malawak na yung cover ng internet natin, mas part na siya ng halos lahat ng movements and daily life ng bawat isa sa atin. So yan. And syempre, dahil dyan, yung privacy nagbago na rin dahil sa internet. Mas mabilis na natin communicate ang kahit sinong tao. Mas mabilis tayo makapag-share ng mga photos, videos, makapag-add ng mga kahit sinong tao, kahit stranger. We can easily connect to anyone in the world. And because of that, yung unscrupulous offenders, they take this opportunity to look for children whom they can exploit and abuse. And dahil dyan, syempre, may increasing internet size and ability ng mga offenders to harm children tumataas din, and they take this as an advantage para sa kanila. And when we talk about risk and harm, may different risk and harm na kinakaharap yung mga bata. Nandyan yung production ng CSAM or child sexual abuse materials, kung saan yung mga pictures or images ng mga bata in a very sexualized and sexually explicit manner are being distributed in the online environment. Pwedeng ang production yan offline, pero ang distribution yan online and posted in different websites and forums. Sadly, the Philippines is one of the top global source of child sexual abuse materials in the world. And syempre, kasama yung grooming for sexual purposes. Children are being identified by different offenders using the internet because meron silang online presence, meron silang different social media accounts, and whenever children are posting this information publicly, they are becoming open for targeting ng different offenders that has the intention to harm or exploit children sexually. Even communicating dun sa mga bata, sending explicit material sa mga bata, conditioning their mind para ma-desensitize yung mga bata, think that okay lang yung mga sexual activities with other people. So yan. Yung child self-generated sexual materials nowadays globally, one of the most common trend na nakikita ngayon globally is yung pagtaas ng number of child self-generated sexual materials. These are materials that seems to be generated or created or produced by children themselves, alone in their room, exploring their sexuality or their own body, and then sadly na-upload or nagli-leak yung mga photos or videos na yan without their consent, and then those videos or pictures are being posted and being sold on different websites and being subscribed or offered to everyone who's willing to pay over the internet. So may malaking challenge tayo dyan na kinakaharap. Online mediated transactions, sexual transactions with children are being offered sa different social media sites, and may mga facilitators who are handling children and offering them to different customers online. So nawala na tayo or unti-unti nang nawawala yung mga street transactions for na involving children being offered to into prostitution. May nangyayari na rin siya online. And also, mayroong live sexual abuse of children na nangyayari or live streamings or cyber sex na tinatawag. Rampant dyan, and sadly we are according to some study and some organizations, tayo ang global epicenter of live online child sexual abuse and exploitation. And we have to remember, considering all of these risks and harm, all children are at risk of exploitation over the internet. Merong mga certain characteristics sila na ginagawa while doing the navigating the internet, and it can contribute to make them more vulnerable to different activities or to different harm because of their risk-taking characteristics, or because of the practice of generating indecent imagery, as well as their personal and sensitive information are readily available dun sa internet, or naka-public yung kanilang mga information. So yan, so different scenarios, different risks and harms can be experienced by different children, depende how they are being exposed or how they navigate the internet. But we have to remember, hindi lang rin yung mga batang ang tawag dito, online ang pwede maging biktima. Pwede rin yung mga batang hindi nag-i-internet. So pwedeng nagiging vulnerable din sila. So yan. As I mentioned, we are the top global source of child pornography, and we are a global epicenter of live stream child sexual abuse materials. And for a local context, one study conducted by ECPAT and UNICEF and Interpol, lumalabas dun sa study na yun na sa Philippines, 20% of internet using children aged 12 to 17 sa Philippines ay naka-experience ng grave instances of online sexual abuse and exploitation. So translated to actual numbers, around 2 million Filipino children ang subjected to any of these harms in just 1 year, according to one study. And we have to remember, in terms of gender, one study shows that majority ng mga victims are female, pero merong significant proportion pa rin ng mga boys. So we have to really consider now, tumatawid ng different genders ang OSAEC. So wag nating iisipin na babae lang ang pwede maging biktima, kahit mga batang lalaki or even LGBTQI children, pwede rin sila maging victims ng different forms of OSAEC. Yan. And pagdating sa age, as I mentioned earlier, majority lumalabas sa pag-aaral, majority ng victims are prepubescents below 12 years old. So these are very young children. Those children are mostly hindi pa nga sila masyadong online, or wala pa sila masyadong online presence. May mga toddlers din at may mga infants. So yan. So they are mostly unconnected. May mga bata rin na children in the street, mga hindi nag-aaral na bata, but we have to reconsider every children again. All children are very much vulnerable when we talk about online sexual abuse and exploitation. So knowing all of this, we have to also consider kung anong ginagawang actions ng mga bata. According to the same study, yung mga bata, only 30 to 40% of those children na naka-experience ng various forms of ASAEC did not tell anyone the last time na naka-experience sila ng any form of ASAEC. Also, those who did report, yung mga batang nakapag-report, mostly likely to confide in a friend followed by a family member. So dun sila mas nagsasabi nung experience nila, or dun sila nagdi-disclose ng kanilang experience related to OSAEC. But that's why it's very vital to be able to spot these signs of child sexual abuse and exploitation, or OSAEC, online. So there may be many reasons for changes in the behavior ng mga child or young person, but pwedeng, if we notice a combination of worrying sign, it is time to seek help or advice. So when we talk about red flags, merong different red flags that pwede nating bantayan as teachers, lalong-lalo na sa school setting. yung regular absences from school, 'di ba? Sa mga school activities, regular siya. Hindi kailangan isa lang ha, dapat ma-observe natin a mix of these different red flags na it can tell us kahit papaano na possibly may na-experience na or may nangyayari or probably possible na ma-prevent pa natin yung possible abuse and exploitation sa mga bata. Going missing for long periods or appearing at school extremely fatigued. Yan. Being dishonest about where they have been, hindi natin na-account kung saan sila galing, nawawala sa school, may subject na absent sila, etc. Yan. Developing an unusually close connection with an older person. So, syempre, ma-observe natin yan sa mga kids natin or sa mga students natin. Displaying mood changes. So, may mga different mood swings. Yung mga bata, may mga different attitudes silang pinapakita na hindi normal dun sa dati nilang attitudes. Also, they are using street or different language or copying the way a new friend may speak and talking about new friends. So, naririnig yan sa kwentuhan, who don't belong to their normal social circle. So, all of these things, pwedeng makikita natin yan sa mga homeroom sessions ng mga estudyante, and also importante rin for us to really strengthen yung mga support group na meron, yung mga student supreme governance, yung government ng mga bata. Pwedeng i-encourage natin sila to really talk about OSAEC and how to prevent it in their own community, school community. So, importante yan because mas nakikita to ng mga classmates nila. Also, they have large amounts of money which they cannot account for, and they're maybe using new mobile phones, but most of the time, they possibly given to them by a new friend or excessively making calls, madalas nakikipag-video chat, etc., or sending text messages, etc. So, yeah. Being secretive about their phone, their social behavior, their online behaviors, hindi tinatago nila sa mga adults. Maybe they nahuling may ginagawa sila, involved sila sa drugs, etc. So, one of those signs rin yan. Assuming a new name, they keep on using different identity or possession of different identification cards. Yan. Being picked up by an older or new friend from school or down the street. It threats to humiliate or share sexual images of victims if they don't carry out sexual acts. Yan. And will let us remember, according to the department order ng DepEd Child Protection Policy, yung teachers and school administrators in public schools has the duty to report incidents of on OSAEC, but also not just OSAEC but also all forms of abuse and exploitation sa mga bata. That's why we encourage everyone to report and to CICC, to the Cybercrime Investigation Coordinating Center. You can take screenshot na lang, CICC, you can submit reports to them and complaints about any form of cybercrime against children. Siyempre, to our law enforcement, PNP ACG, PNP Women and Children Protection Center, yung ACG is Anti-Cybercrime Group. So may dalawang branch na pwede tayong lapitan or unit na pwede tayong lapitan sa PNP. And siyempre, the Anti-Trafficking Action Line na 1343. And of course, ECPAT Philippines has this eProtect Kids, the Internet Reporting Hotline. It is an online platform na pwede kayong mag-report anonymous. If you don't want to be identified, na nagre-report kayo, you can easily go to our website. Just go to ecpat.org.ph/report, and then we will receive your report. And whenever we receive reports from you, from the public, our hotline analyst will check the report. Mostly, we encourage you to report child sexual abuse materials, videos or pictures of children posted in the internet that we want to take down immediately. We encourage you to report it to eProtect Kids. And whenever we found out na kailangan i-take down yung images na yan, yung child sexual abuse materials, we forward it to CICC and also to INHOPE for international taking down, and with the hope of forwarding it to content service providers, to ISPs, and with the hope of completely removing those materials na nagsisirculate sa internet. For more information, you can visit our website, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and we have this contact information for your inquiries. Yeah. Don't be shy na makipag-communicate sa amin. And that's it. Marami pong salamat. And again, happy National Teachers Month, and we hope na marami kayo natutunan and continue helping one another in protecting children. Yeah. Good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gino. Talagang marami kaming natutunan dun sa mga pinanepare niyo for us today. And I'm sure marami na rin katanungan sa ating mga audience. And later po, meron po tayong Q&A. So paki-write down lang po ang inyong mga questions sa ating mga speakers. And Mr. Gino, we truly appreciate the advice and presentation you prepared for us. Naku, nakita nyo naman po ang mga panganib na humaharap sa mga bata ngayon. Nakakatakot po ano? Lalo na kung walang tamang gabay sa ating mga anak. So thank you again, Mr. Gino, for making us aware of the dangers. Okay pa po ba kayo, parents, teachers, guardians, and everyone here sa ating event today? Nako, kailangan na ata natin ng konting pampagising. Again, I want to remind all of you to stay with us till the end kasi may paraffol pa po kami. Sige, let's do a quick and short game before we proceed to the next set of speakers. This game is very simple lang po. And it has been trending in TikTok for months now. So sigurado akong alam nyo na ito. Yung mga mahilig mag-scroll dyan sa TikTok, for sure, madali na ito para sa inyo. So here are the mechanics. Magfa-flash po ako ng letter sa screen. Pagkatapos, magbibigay ako ng mga category na kinakailangan ninyong bigyan ng sagot na nagsisimula sa letter na ipapakita ko. So for example, naka-flash sa screen ay letter N and the category is country. Then you need to give me a country that starts with the letter N. So ano po ba ang country na nagsa-start sa letter N? Try natin ngayon. Pakitype po sa chat box. Tama po kayo pag sinulat nyo ay New Zealand. Okay. So ayan po, napakasimple lang. You will just send your answers in the chat box and the first 2 people to give the correct answer will win. So 10 categories po ito. So we will have a total of 20 winners for this game. Do note that those here in the Zoom webinar are eligible to join the game po. Okay? Now, let's see our first category and our chosen letter. Tagalog or English are both acceptable. Okay? All right. First letter. Saan ang M. And category is country. Ako, ayan na, ang dami. Ako, oh my gosh. Teka lang. Help! Sino yung first 2? Okay, teka. Hintayin natin. Ang dami bigla. Parang overload. M. Morocco. And hindi, N pa to. N pa to kanina eh. Teka lang, ha? N was just an example. So, sa M po tayo. Malaysia. Ayan, may nag-answer ng Malaysia. At may answer din ng Morocco. Nakuha nyo ba yon? Okay. Anyway, meron po tayong team na mag-check po kung sino yung first 2. Pero tama po, nakikita ko na marami. Malaysia, Morocco, Mexico. Okay. Anyway, next. Ang next po natin ay letter. Dali lang. Letter L. Name a city that starts with the letter L. Dami niyan. Pwede rin dito sa Pilipinas. Ayan, ang dami. Lipa, Lucena. Ayan. London. Correct. Lukban, Laos. Lawag. Ang dami nang nanalo. Hi, team. Please help me. Okay. Next. Letter. Huwag po kayo mag-aalala. Mag-a-announce po kami ng letters. Winners mamaya. Letter P. Animal. Aba, buhay na buhay ang ating audience. That's good to know. Okay. Letter P. Animal. Pig. Pig. Ayan. Portugal. Ay, hindi po animal ang Portugal. Siya po ay bansa. Yes. Okay. May dalawang winners na rin tayo. Okay, next. Next letter. Letter N, body part. Pwedeng Tagalog, pwedeng English. Go for it. Noo, nose. Okay, may nanalo na din. Ang bilis niyo mag-type. I love it. Next letter, please. And category, letter T, job, trabaho. Yes. Meron na ba? Nasa N pa rin po tayo. No. Ayan, teacher, truck driver. Ayan, may nanalo na din. Congratulations. Next letter, please. Letter R, brand. Anong brand? Okay. Tingnan natin, letter R. Rolex. Very good. Reebok, Ribisco. Good job, teachers. I love it. Okay. Next. Next letter. Ang ganda talaga, Rolex. Ha? Letter A, famous person. Letter A. Ayan. Correct, Ann Curtis. Aga Mulak, Angel Locsin. Ang bilis. Okay, very good. Tapos na ba? Alan Kay, meron din Ann Cortez. Okay. Tapos na. Ayan. Okay. Ang saya. Hindi, meron pa. Meron pa. After that, may famous person. After that, meron pa din. Tatlo pa. Okay. Next. Ang saan ang next natin? Letter S, clothing. Ayan, shoes and sando and shorts. Okay, very good. Ang daming nanalo. Okay, next letter please. Skirt, shoes, sandals. Letter C, chemical element. Teachers, chemical element. C, calcium, carbon. Very good. Ala, sumasabog po ang ating chat box. That's very good to know. It means you're still with me in this event. Thank you. Okay, next. Parang last to na. Letter B, sport, game, baseball, basketball, correct, badminton, boxing. Ano pa? Dami. Okay, tama po kayong lahat. Pero yung first two lang po talaga. Yung pinakamabilis mag-type. Okay. And last, what do we have? Letter, please. Last letter and category. Badminton. Tama. Tama lahat. Last letter. Coming up. Ready? Ready na po? Meron pa ata tayong last letter eh. Tingnan natin po sa screen. Ay, letter. Tapos na ba? Ay, tapos na. Okay, pasensya na. Ako po ang nagkamali. Okay, so congratulations to all our 20 winners. Again, I will announce the winners pagkatapos po nitong sa end po ng show. Congratulations. Ayan, very good. Okay, ready na po kayo for our last two speakers. And of course, dun sa paraffle po natin. Ngayon naman, alam na natin ang mga posibleng panganib na madadala sa ating mga estudyante. Talakayin naman natin ang mga paraan at solusyon to fight against child online abuse and exploitation. To talk about the Internet Awesome, we have invited our Google partner, Mr. Yves Gonzalez.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Yves Gonzalez. I head Government Affairs and Public Policy for Google in the Philippines, and I'm super thankful for this opportunity to share with you some brief details about Google's Be Internet Awesome program. So before that, let me introduce myself. So I'm a father of three. I have two little girls and one boy. And last month, I had the honor of having one of our family stories be featured in Google's keyword blog. And I wanted to share it with you because it's super relevant to our conversation today on Be Internet Awesome. So a couple of months ago, my daughter went up to me laughing because there was a stranger who was asking her for her password on one of her favorite games. And she was laughing because she was telling me that the stranger was trying to fool her. And so this story is just an example of how my conversations with my kids on online safety, on digital responsibility, have actually help them become better digital citizens. So through Be Internet Awesome and the programs, the lessons, the teachings that it does, I have been able to help my daughter be more responsible, be smarter on the internet, especially as she spends more time online. So today I wanted to share with you, to explain with everyone what is Be Internet Awesome, to give you a very brief overview of the program and how Be Internet Awesome helps parents and teachers be able to help their students or their kids be more responsible digital citizens. So the problem for the Philippines is that we are one of the most challenged countries when it comes to child online safety. So we're either four to the last in the risk to kids online. So whether it's phishing or hacking, the Filipino children are really one of the most exposed, and that's why we really need to step up and we really need to do something to better protect them. So especially now, pandemic, post-pandemic, children are spending more and more time online. So the risks are even higher. So whether they're doing hybrid classes or just even watching their favorite games or their favorite entertainment shows, children are spending more and more of their time online. So we need to be more alert on the dangers that are lurking behind the scenes. So last year, Google launched the Be Internet Awesome program in the Philippines. So, to summarize, Be Internet Awesome is a program designed to equip parents and teachers with the resources to help their kids be safe, confident explorers of the online world. So, that is the summary of what is Be Internet Awesome. So Be Internet Awesome is a globally recognized program that's been helping kids stay safe online all over the world. So it currently has 10 languages, but for the Philippines, I'd like to call out that there is Filipino and Cebuano for the Philippines. So Be Internet Awesome is a curriculum that has been awarded the seal of alignment by the International Society for Technology in Education. So as mentioned, the Be Internet Awesome website is available for Filipinos in three languages: English, Filipino, and Cebuano. So these are currently the three options available. So whether you're teaching your kids in the local dialect, who wants to teach in the local dialect, you will be able to do so. Just do a Google search for Be Internet Awesome, and you'll find the Be Internet Awesome website. So what is the BIA approach? So when I say BIA, that's Be Internet Awesome. So the BIA approach is very holistic. So our approach is there's three pillars to the approach. So number one, of course, is to talk to the kids. And for this particular program, when we say kids, we're talking about 8 to 12 years old. Um, Number two is we talk to the educators. So we talk to teachers, we teach teachers, we provide localized lesson plans. And I'll talk more about that later. And of course, number three is we talk to parents. We talk to the parents, we talk to the people who are overseeing the kids, because this is very important, right? It's very important that our message is for these three pillars of the program, and we customize it depending on who we are talking to. Because remember, for the parents, especially for today, we are the ones that are really there, overseeing the kids on most of their time. And so we're the ones that really need to be responsible for talking to them and teaching the kids online citizenship. So what are the five pillars of Be Internet Awesome, or what are the five modules of Be Internet Awesome? So number one, of course, is to be internet smart. So when you talk about being internet smart, the subheading there is always share with care. So we live in a world where children are sharing a lot of information, whether even parents are sharing a lot of information, whether it's their username, their names, their photos. And so it's very important we start with learning kids how to share with care, being thoughtful and considerate in what you share and who you share it with. The module focuses on letting kids understand that there are consequences when they share. So, and what are the consequences of these when they share to one individual versus to a group of individuals? And of course, in this module as well, we're very much emphasizing the need to keep extra sensitive information to yourself, whether, for example, it's a medical condition, the fact that your brother is sick, or whether that your mom is pregnant. So things like that fall under the Share with Care program, or Be Internet Smart, wherein we teach our kids to be very smart and responsible on what they share and post online and to whom. So the number two module, of course, this is very relevant to a lot of us today, is to be internet alert. So being internet alert means don't fall for fake. And we know this, we get every day tens of messages on our mobile phones about job offers, you want a promo. So be Internet Alert teaches kids to know how to tell the difference between what is real and what is fake on the online world. It teaches kids about phishing and how to report it. So when people are trying to get the information of our kids, the kids need to be able to defend against such attacks on them. As well as, of course, spotting the signs of a potential scam, which we know there's a lot of these happening online nowadays. Number three, be internet strong. So what is be internet strong? Be internet strong means securing your secrets. Be internet strong teaches kids to take responsibility for protecting their important information. Be Internet Strong allows kids to craft a unique and memorable password. So protecting our online information starts with having a very strong and memorable online password, as well as creating a password that combines strings, numbers, and symbols, but at the same time, teaching them how to best remember and not forget their password. So Be Internet Strong is all about protecting your information by having strong defenses like a password. Number four, be internet kind. So be internet kind. The main message here is that it is cool to be kind. So we live in a world nowadays where there's a lot of trolls and bullies online, and be internet kind teaches kids that it is actually very cool to be kind. So this means amplifying the power of the internet to spread positivity, blocking mean-spirited people, or reporting those with inappropriate behavior, as well as speaking up against cyberbullying and reporting it every time. So Be Internet Kind allows our kids to understand that using the internet, there are bad bullies there, but it's also very cool to be the superhero that's kind and reports cyberbullies. And number five is Be Internet Brave. So what does Be Internet Brave mean? It means when in doubt, talk it out. Be Internet Brave, the module focuses on the reality that, sometimes you have questions and you have doubts as a child, right? So Be Internet Brave teaches kids that it is okay to speak up when they notice inappropriate behavior. It is okay to stand up when you see something that you're not comfortable with. It's okay to report when you witness something or when people are being mistreated online. And it is actually okay to talk about your feelings, to talk about your thoughts with your family, with your teacher, that it's just actually a sign of bravery to admit when something is uncertain and when you want to speak up about something. So Be Internet Brave again is the fifth module that summarizes what Be Internet Awesome is all about. So again, Be Internet Smart, Be Internet Alert, Be Internet Kind, Be Internet Brave, and Be Internet Strong. So five modules for Be Internet Awesome. So of course, the Be Internet Awesome program will be more successful if we work closely with our educators. So we talked about teachers very much early on. And so one of the partnerships that Be Internet Awesome has is with the Department of Education. And so, for example, with the Department of Education, we are aligning with their mission to promote the right of every Filipino to quality education. And so we are working closely with the Bureau of Curriculum Development towards a national rollout of Be Internet Awesome. We did a pilot project with them last year, and this year we are ongoing with the national rollout, as well as with DepEd TV. So DepEd TV was launched during the pandemic to really address the need for online education, in a sense that we're all in our screens and we need to be on. So for example, YouTube, DepEd TV is very much on YouTube. And so we're working with DepEd to make sure that the Be Internet Awesome programs are integrated into their DepEd TV. Of course, other than DepEd, we need to partner also with the private sector. And so with the private sector, I'd like to share two collaborations that are very relevant to our conversation today. So number one, of course, we did a collaboration last year with Mommy Mundo. And number two, of course, we are collaborating with PLTT, with SMART, to spread the message of Be Internet Awesome to as many parents and teachers as we can. So for example, last year we did collaborations with Mommy Mundo, to engage parent communities. We did three modules. So for example, we did a module on teaching your kids to be better netizens. We did a module on ensuring your kids' safety online, as well as setting boundaries with technology for your kids. So one of the most challenging things we'd have to do as parents nowadays is to set the boundaries, right? Especially as our kids are spending a lot of their time on their devices for education, for school. We also need to still learn how to set boundaries such that it doesn't go beyond what we have agreed upon with the kids, right? So together with Mommy Mundo, we've reached over 15,000 parents and guardians, 33,000 impressions, and 8,000 views of these sessions together with Mommy Mundo. But of course, one of the things that we're really, really proud of is the partnership that we did with PLDT Home, that we're doing with PLDT and Smart to really give life to the BIA lessons, And so together with PLDT, we launched our collaboration with on Be Internet Awesome. I think no, 2 months ago, in July, wherein we rolled out a web series co-produced by PLDT and Google to try to really give to life the lessons, on being internet smart, being internet alert, being internet strong, and be internet brave. So the web series is available on YouTube as well as on PLDT's digital assets. You'll be able to watch how PLDT Home and Google work together to give life to these lessons. So I'll show one example here, which is the module or the web series on how to be internet strong.
Be internet awesome. Be internet awesome. No sharing with Karen, and we're safe and behaving. We'll be internet awesome.
Basta sagot mo ako, ha?
Online ba ka mo? Naman I got you. We'll be internet awesome.
Kailangan ko tulong dito. Alas ka naman dito. Guys, uy! Ay! Ano ba yan? Ang hina ko pa. Sam, bigay ko sa password na account ko. Laruin mo naman para lumakas. Ako din, Sam. Please. Ikaw naman to marami alam na moves.
Di ko kaya maglaro ng ibang player.
Ay, baka pag pinalalahan ka ni Marco ng chicharon galing sa Bulacan, malapit sa kanila yung factory, di ka na makahindi, Sam.
Totoo ba yung pachicharon na yan? O sige, game! Marco, bigay mo yung account and password mo. FTW and FD Chicharon! Tinawag ba kita, Roboberto?
Mighty Roboberto, at your service. Di naman ako lumayo sa tabi mo. I'm here because it appears something's not right.
And what is that, Roboberto?
Okay.
So if you want to finish watching that episode, you can watch it on PLDT Home's YouTube channel. So as you can see, we work with PLDT to really localize and to make it super locally relevant, the lessons from Be Internet Awesome. So our objective here, of course, is to really bring to every Filipino the lessons from Be Internet Awesome in a way that really resonates with them, in a way that is up to date with, the things that kids and parents go through nowadays. So we're very thankful for this collaboration with PLDT, and of course, with every parent here, so it starts with you going to the Be Internet Awesome website, sharing the knowledge that you've learned there with your own children, with your own students, so that hopefully, together we can work together to better protect our kids online and make them responsible digital citizens. So with that, thank you very much. And I'll be around for the Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eves, for that insightful presentation. Ang galing, no? I'm so happy to hear that we actually have these tools available to support us in guiding our children to be responsible digital citizens. So thank you, Mr. Eves, for teaching us how to be awesome, smart, alert, strong, kind, and brave in the digital world. I would just like to announce again that our raffle registration is only up to 3 p.m. So parang 2 minutes na lang po. So this is going to be your last chance to register. After 3 p.m., our registration will be closed. At para po dun sa grand prize, kailangan present po dito. Naka-on ang camera at nakikita po namin. Kasi kung wala po kayo dito at wala kayo sa camera, mawe-wave po yung premyo. Nako. Now we are off to the last speaker of this event. Before we get to that, I need to make sure that everyone is still alive and alert. And to do that, gusto nyo pa ba na isa pang quick game bago yung last speaker natin? Madali lang po ito. This time, it's a word puzzle game. Parang workout ito for the brain to stimulate more brain activity para ready na tayo for our next speaker. So how it works is, I will flash a description of a word I'm looking for. These are all discussed sa presentation ni Sir Ibs. So I hope everyone paid attention. I will give a clue to the word I'm looking for, and I'll also provide 2 letters as your second clue. You simply need to guess the word. Type in your answer in the chat box, and the first 2 people to get the answers right will win. Okay? So, example po. Example. You are considered blank if you follow the 5 fundamentals of being a responsible digital citizen. So we need to be internet. Ayan. Ano po? Be internet what? Ayun po yung ating clue, W at saka letter E. So ayan ang sagot, be internet awesome. Okay? So okay. We'll move on na to the first word. Game na talaga to. Madali lang, di ba? Okay. You are considered blank when you share with care. Be internet. Ano po ang sagot? Very good. Smart. Ayan, ang dami rin nagay sa chat box. Next. You are considered blank if you don't fall for fake. So you are be internet. Ayan ang clue. Correct. Alert. Be internet alert. All right. Next, you are considered blank if you secure your secrets. So be internet. Correct. Be internet strong. Pabilis na lang po ng type ito. Ang next, it's cool to be blank. So we need to be internet. Ayan, letter K. Very good. Be internet kind. Lastly, when in doubt, talk it out. Be internet blank. Brave is correct. So malalaman po natin at the end of the show kung sino po ang ating mga winners. Maraming salamat po. Okay? Madali lang, di ba? Now the 5 answers are actually the fundamentals in being internet awesome so that our kids can play safe, learn safe, and most importantly, stay safe as they explore the online world. Again, for the winners, before we end this event, we will announce how to claim your prizes, so stay tuned. Before we go to our last speaker, I just want to remind everyone to keep reacting and comment below your questions. We'll get to that a little later. And please do not forget to share our live streaming and our Facebook page, Better Today PH, with our hashtags Better Today and My Teacher, My Frontline Hero. Now, I'm actually very excited for our last speakers. I'm sure most of us here are not just teachers, but we are also parents. So our last speakers will share their digital parenting tips and teaching their children, our children, their responsibilities and how to utilize digital environments in a responsible and safe manner. Please welcome Mr. Edric and Ms. Joy Mendoza.
Hello, everybody. Good day. It's a privilege to be with you all here alongside Google, Smart, and PLDT to talk about something that's really close to our hearts. You know, we've been in the parenting space forever. we were involved in various initiatives, workshops, coaching, and we actually have 6 kids aging.
3 years old to 19.
That's right.
The whole spectrum. And then 3 boys and then 3 girls.
And one of the big things for us is obviously how they're navigating through digital, right?
Yes.
And we see this across various parents' concerns. So we want to speak a little bit to this, and we want to answer a couple of questions that will hopefully be helpful for you guys as you navigate, you know, how do we help keep our children safe, and alongside the amazing advocacies and platforms like Being Internet Awesome, which you're hearing about, and the different programs that they're doing to educate families and young children and teachers as we celebrate National Teachers Day. how to help them navigate through that, we're right alongside you guys. So 3 quick questions that we'll try and answer. The first has everything to do with, babe, what are your thoughts? Let's unpack how you can help children as they go and engage the online space, whether it's what they see or how they behave.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely going to be on the online space. So that's something inevitable that we just have to accept. It's going to be part of their life. So what we have to do is make sure that the values are in place first, and that there is a standard that they're aware of, so that they can run away from what's wrong and choose wisely when they're online. And we have a principle that we live by in our family, and it goes something like this, grow in wisdom, stature, favor with God, and favor with man. And it's based on a Bible verse in Luke 2:52. And I think every family, you need to have your own set of values that you're going to live out together, and also role model as parents, so that there's consistency in the home. And so we've used this, and basically, maybe you can explain wisdom, stature, favor with God, favor with man.
Yeah, so the fundamental principle here, or the value, is the value of discernment, right? We will not always be there to protect our kids, but we can help prevent them from experiencing dangerous things, whether it's online or other places. And how do we do that? As Joy said, ask yourself, what is your framework? What is your value set as a family? Ours is from the Bible, because we're a Christian family, and the 4 things you heard, wisdom, stature, favor with God, and favor with men, this is how it translates practically. Our kids will ask themselves if they want to download an app, or if they want to watch something online, or any other thing that they will choose to do, is, will this help me grow in wisdom? Meaning, will it develop my mind and my knowledge, but in a way that I can apply it biblically, not just information for information's sake, right? So will it allow me to do that? Develop a better mind, strengthen my
make right choices.
Make right choices. The second is stature. So will this help me in my physical body, or my giftings and abilities? So this is everything to do with my talents, my body's health, right? And then the third is favor with men. So this has everything to do with character, being able to interact and also influence people for good, right? So all of that, would it allow me to do that? So practical applications would be, if I go online, am I going to be with others? Can I influence them, or will I be influenced more? So those would be kind of the thoughts. The final one is favor with God, which is pretty self-explanatory. Again, for those that appreciate that, and because we're Christian, that's very important to us. So that is one thing, right? Is they need to have discernment. We need to implant this early on, so that they can choose, even for themselves, what is not good and what is good, or what they should engage in, how they should behave online, what they should see and not see.
Yeah, I think because, the online space, it's neutral, right? It could have good stuff there, and it's got bad stuff as well. So the problem is not necessarily the online space. We as parents have a big responsibility. And when we talk about those values, whatever your value system is as a family, as parents, Edric and I have to be very careful about modeling it as well. Because if we tell our kids, look, we don't want you to watch this kind of show because it's not good for you, but we're watching it, then there's an inconsistency there. So there have been times as a family, maybe we're watching a movie, and then we'll all agree, you know what, this is not something healthy for our mind, body, spirit. It's not edifying. So kids, we're going to watch another show instead, because this is not beneficial. And so when they see that, they realize, okay, we have a shared culture as a family, and this is something that we want to encourage everyone in the family to have, not just our children, but also ourselves.
Yeah, and this might be the more challenging part, if we're to be honest.
Yeah.
And maybe the overlooked part is we keep focusing on the kids and what they should be doing, but in reality, we have a large part to play, because they see what we do, right? As we know, things are often caught more than taught. So what they see us do, even more than what we say, is what they will copy. So I love what Joy said. Now, let's go to the second question, babe. And I think this is going to tie in very well to the first conversation we had. So let's say they experience something negative, right? As they go into the online space. What are the remedies? What are the things that we should do to help them move out of that and overcome those struggles or disastrous encounters, if you will?
Once again, I think it goes back to parenting. This is where we have to not just have a culture of shared values, but a culture of open communication. There have been times when our sons have accidentally seen things online, and because they know, we've told them this ever since they were younger, because we have 3 older boys and then we've got 3 daughters, and we've told all our kids, if you see anything that you're uncomfortable with, that you're not supposed to see because there's nudity or something sexual or something inappropriate or something that makes you feel uneasy, you can run to mommy and daddy, because we will protect you, and let's talk about it. And since we have this line of open communication and we've reinforced it over and over again, our kids feel confident enough to come and seek us out and tell us. And sometimes they make confessions also. And I think this is where you as a dad, honey, I really appreciate that you've done this with our sons, because our sons are the older ones. And he has mentoring time with them every week where they ask one another, how are you doing in the area of purity? How are you doing in the area of pride? And so on. And so they've opened up about struggles they've had, and it makes for healthier children in the sense that they know that if they make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. They don't have to hide it from mom and dad, and they can come to us and we can have conversations about it, and let's experience healing together.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think on an added practical note, with all the different speakers you're hearing here, and part of the campaign of Being Internet Awesome by Google and with the teams involved, PLDT Home, etc., they actually have remedies that you might be able to use also, people and groups that you can go to, practically speaking, because, hey, you know what? Depending on the extent of the danger or the harm that has been caused online, there are different groups and teams and agencies that can help remedy that.
And
on top of just what you're doing as a parent.
yeah, I want to add, because we've seen the Internet Awesome show, and it has very practical tips on how parents and kids can navigate the online space together. And I would actually encourage parents to also be informed, because some of the tips on there, I was like, I need to be doing that also, right? Things like, don't just give away private information, be very mindful, right, of certain sites and how they collect data. So watch out for that show. It's a good option.
One last tip that has to do with character as well. If earlier we said discernment is very good, there might be cases where you need to instill discipline or help them understand the value of obedience, right? Because so you want them to be preventive, but at some ages, especially when they're younger, they'll test the boundaries, right? And they'll do things that might be harmful for them, or they may have done this already. So how do you help curb that? For example, they want to just be online doing gaming and they're addicted to that versus doing their online schooling or creating things on the online space, which they can do with various digital platforms, right? So you really want to instill discipline and obedience. And how is that done? Part of the way you want to do that is we like to use the idea of the floor and the ceiling. What does that mean? So let's say your kid is addicted to gadgets and is not doing their schoolwork, as you're on a hybrid format, for example, right now. What you do is you create a floor or a consequence. What is something that you know will be a consequence to them that they will not want to experience? Affect that. If they do not obey and do the thing you told them to do, you can only have 10 minutes on that game, or for the whole day, no games because you have to focus on your schoolwork. If they do not obey, instill the consequence. Now, to balance it out, you need to have not just a floor, but a ceiling. The ceiling is an incentive. So if they do that behavior for, let's say, a week or a month, up to you, then they get a reward, right? So make sure it's something that they will be excited to experience or to have. So if you have both of those in place, a floor and a ceiling, as a general experience, it should curb that behavior so that they will get out of that dangerous situation of being addicted or something harmful online and move towards something that is more productive and better, right? So
yeah, and I just want to add that there's also certain external things that we do just to prevent them from even being in situations where they'll be tempted, right, to do gaming or to be on social media for indefinite and long stretches of time, or just watching shows. So we actually don't allow, for example, our younger children to have access to gadgets, or we don't just give them a phone for their birthday, because we know that the values, as we shared earlier, are not yet in place. They're not yet solid. So there's a responsibility that comes with being able to have your own device. And we feel that there's an appropriate time also in the lives of our kids where we can do that. So usually before the age of 12, 13, we don't give them their own device. And up to now, even the older ones, they share devices. And this is another external kind of safety precaution that we have, is we encourage them to, when they're on a device and they want to watch something, a video, generally for our younger kids, because they're borrowing a device, we tell them you have to be in the room with mommy and daddy. And this is because we're not saying that they're going to go and look up something bad. It's just that sometimes these things happen, pop-ups happen, and we want to prevent unnecessary exposure for them. And so it just becomes sort of an external guard that we also have in place. And there's also apps that you can get to prevent kids from going onto gaming platforms when they're studying,
Right.
which we've installed also.
Last question. How do you balance the offline and digital space and the involvement there? What are your thoughts? And I'll jump in also with something interesting.
Yeah, and once again, I keep going back to parenting because I think that this is essentially when there's an issue with kids using the online space. I really believe a lot of times it goes back to our own parenting. And you know, we're saying this not because we're experts, we're also on a journey alongside you guys. But when we're not spending a lot of time with our kids, we're not giving them creative options to do besides gaming or being online, engaging people online, then they'll definitely default to that. So we've noticed, and we've done many parenting conferences and talks and engaged people and studied about this. And we know that at the end of the day, our kids really do prefer quantity time with family members. They want to have good relationships with family members. Sometimes it doesn't seem that way because maybe there's stress and tension in those relationships. But when we really make the effort to spend time with our children, to meet their emotional needs, to create that strong bond and attachment, then they will actually enjoy doing analog activities like playing board games or doing sports together,
Biking,
going outdoors.
walking.
Yes. Or just, you know, hanging out and talking. But if that relationship is not healed, if there's something broken in that, then it's very hard to say, hey, let's hang out, let's do something fun as a family, because for them it's more fun to be online. It's just a better option for them. And so that's how I would say it's not that the online space is always negative. It's more like,
as you said, it's neutral earlier.
It's
You
neutral.
can use it for good or
Yeah.
bad, and obviously you want to protect the kids from the bad.
But it's very important. It's our responsibility as parents to really develop that strong attachment with our kids and pursue their hearts. So that if we say things like, hey kids, we're not going to watch any movies tonight, we're not going to, you know, watch anything online, do anything online, we're just going to hang out and play games, board games, they'll be like, yay, let's do that, right? Versus, oh, that's so boring. So.
Right. One very helpful resource in this balancing of it is something that has literally changed our family. It's from a guy named Brad Huddleston. It's called Digital Cocaine. And if you're interested, reach out. You know, we have access to these materials. We've talked to Brad and we're actually distributing some of those books. And a very important note there is what Joy said, the idea of analog time. And what you can do to help balance it is ask yourself, have you guys been addicted or too much online that it's creating unhealthy relationships, unhealthy behaviors? You might want to undertake what's called a digital detox. And the book unpacks that. 6-week set where you actually refrain from using any digital device primarily for consumption. You can use it for creation, meaning for work or schoolwork, but for consumption, just watching, entertaining yourself. Nothing wrong with that. But if it is creating those unhealthy behaviors or it has created some trauma, etc., or addiction, which is the big thing there, then you really need to create alternatives to go offline. Biking, reading, storytelling, playing old school games like charades, remember? So there's many things that we realized actually existed before digital that you can do with your family, and it's important you all do it so that, once again, that balance is restored and all of the dangerous things that may have happened because of over-engaging online can be eliminated, right? So maybe let's close with something from your own heart. What have you seen so precious about, you know, the digital space and how our kids have navigated it successfully, quote unquote, so far in the last in the journey we've had in parenting?
Well, you know, we're homeschooling parents. So I've been homeschooling for the last 19 years, and without the digital space, I would honestly have a very hard time educating my kids because I'm not an expert in every subject matter. So I think the perspective we've had when it comes to navigating the digital space is let's use it to better ourselves. Let's use it to learn. Let's use it to research. Let's use it to grow. And so in that sense, it's been super beneficial for our family. And the kids have enjoyed doing that, right? If they want to research the scientific name of a plant that I don't know about, they'll do that. If they want to research, you know, how to maybe make something, a craft, and they want to learn how to do, like one of our daughters got into crocheting, so she learned all about how to crochet. using the digital space, and I can't teach her that. So it's a very helpful tool for educators, for parents who want to be very intentional and also supplementing the learning experience of their children. And I'm super grateful actually for the online space.
Yeah, and you remember the story about the purity ball?
Oh, the purity ball, yes. So because we had talked about these values when our kids were younger, growing wisdom, stature,
Discernment, all these things we've talked about.
favor with God and favor with man. We talked to our kids early on about purity, about avoiding sexual sin. And I remember one time,
online, pornography.
I remember one time our son came up to us. He was probably 16 at the time, and he said very seriously and very sincerely, Mom and Dad, thank you for teaching me all about sexual purity and what to run away from and what to avoid. Because when I would hang out with other kids and they would kind of talk to me about their experiences, I realized that knowing about all of that beforehand from you protected me from making wrong choices, because they're going through heartache that I never had to experience. So thank you, Mom and Dad. So I think we're sharing that not to say, wow, you guys are so good. No, it's
not that we figured it all out, but it's working.
That's the principle of being preventive in our approach. Start things early, have those conversations early, set those values in place early, and that's what will help you not just navigate the online space, but see it as something that you can enjoy and use to grow as individuals.
All right, so we hope this has been helpful. Thanks, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.
That's a very insightful conversation with Edric and Joy. Thank you so much to both of you. And that concludes today's presentation. Nakita nyo naman kung gaano ka-insightful ang mga natalakay ngayong hapon. We now better understand that you, as teachers, have a duty to create a safe online environment for the children. Di po ba? Palalagpasin ba natin itong oportunidad upang mabigyan ng mas maganda at karapat-dapat na karanasan ang ating mga estudyante mula sa paggamit ng internet? Siyempre hindi. Through us, we can make the internet a safe place for children to learn, socialize, and express themselves. But don't go yet, as we still have the Q&A, and I'm sure you don't want to miss our raffle draw. In the meantime, please watch this.
What's up, fellow online adventurers?
Hello, parents and teachers! Samahan ninyo ako at ang kaibigan kong si Sam sa online world. Matuto tayo paano kumilala at umiwas sa mga digital manloloko at problema.
We're going to learn what it takes to be internet smart, alert, strong, kind, and brave.
So you can be safe in your online adventures and
be internet awesome! Join us soon on the PLDT Home channel.
Enjoy unlimited fiber at home. Now made faster with 150 Mbps. PLDT Home. Subscribe now.
With Smart's new Power All 99, I have the power to do what I want! With 8 gigabytes for all sites and apps, plus only TikTok and only text. Best choice I made. Load now!
PLDT and Smart fight online child abuse. Think of the internet as a city. Within the city are different blocks where offices are built. The roads that run across the city would be the network of PLDT and Smart. The passing cars would be the information or files that go around the city. Within the city are bad people lurking in the shadows, and some of them take advantage of children, posting explicit photos and videos. Let's say one city block represents a domain. If one domain is a known haven for child sexual abuse materials, PLDT and Smart can simply block the roads leading to that entire district, preventing customers from getting into these offices. But the challenge comes when files are being uploaded from specific offices located in the city blocks where legitimate businesses are also operating. PLDT and Smart can't cut the road leading to the entire district because that would mean cutting access to offices operating legally. So, PLDT and Smart gather information from different sources to find out their exact location. Think of it as getting tips from building administrators, security personnel, co-tenants, and local authorities. Once identified, PLDT and SMART can now block the specific street that leads to these offending offices while maintaining roads open to legitimate businesses. But you might ask, if PLDT and SMART own the roads, why can't they inspect every car that passes through? Well, the law does not allow PLDT and SMART to peer into every car that's on their network. It would be a violation of privacy laws. The roads are a pass-through infrastructure. PLDT and SMART may own the roads, but not the entire city. So, to protect children, they work with government and law enforcement agencies, as well as local and international organizations that advocate for the safety and rights of children. Together with our partners, PLDT and SMART are building a better today for our nation's future by creating safer spaces for kids and the youth, both online and offline. We are committed to help the Philippines attain the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 16, which promotes just, peaceful, and inclusive societies, including the end to abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and all forms of violence against children.
Ensuring children's online safety is everyone's responsibility. PLDT Home, together with Google, equip and enable Filipino families with tools and technology to ensure our kids are safe online. Very informative and very easy to understand. So thank you, PLDT Home and Google, for that. Now we will be welcoming back our guest speakers, Ms. Catherine Diaz de Rivera, Mr. Gino Corral, and Mr. Yves Gonzalez for the Q&A portion. Okay, I know everyone has been sending out questions for our speakers, and we actually had a chance to filter them out. So I'll ask some of the questions that I got here. Of course, if you still have questions that haven't been covered, then just virtually raise your hand and we'll call you out so that you can ask our speakers. First question for Ms. Catherine Diaz de Rivera. As the leading provider of internet connectivity in our country, and here as an active ally in promoting online safety, what efforts do you do or what tools do you provide to combat cybercrime?
Thank you for the question, Miss Joy. It is actually important that we already took the step and we are walking the talk and have started and established initiating activities as we continue to be on the lookout and taking action by leveraging on our technology and network resources in our capacity to keep children safer online. One highlight is the PLDT Group's Child Protection Platform or CPP technology solution. It's an added layer of protection via our 24/7 network security systems to combat mosaic and mitigate further exposure of our children to illegal sites. Also pioneered for the Philippine business community, a child safeguarding policy. Another one is partnering with like-minded organizations like Kids for Kids and Safer Kids PH for our Better Today Safer Spaces program, where we started in the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children or BCPC units, which I've mentioned in my presentation earlier, in CDO and Iligan by way of providing equipments, connectivity that will enable counseling for mosaic cases and response. And of course, tuloy-tuloy yan to this day's initiative. Our agenda today, which is a huge constant part of um, fighting or combating cybercrime. So tulong-tulong lang po tayo kasama ng mga teachers natin who are here. Kailangan di po tayong tumigil. Tuloy-tuloy lang po. Thank
Thank
you,
you so
thank you.
much, Miss Kat. Thank you.
Welcome
Mr.
po.
Gino Corral, this question is for you. Since I cannot keep watch of what my kids see online, do you think completely blocking my kids of the use of social media would be a better and sure method to prevent cyberbullying, being exposed to inappropriate or potentially harmful content? Oh gosh, that's going to be very violent for them.
Thank you, ma'am, for that question. And interesting yung tanong, no? But we are saying na we should avoid restricting children's internet access dahil nga lalo na as a response to potential harm. You pag once we whenever we restrict children's access to the internet, it can help them be protected dun sa immediate harm in the short term. But in the long term, medyo may negative impact rin sa children's digital skills. So importante lalo-lalo sa panahon ngayon, nakaka-access sila ng internet dahil it will also develop yung kanilang pagiging safe yung kung paano nila ina-navigate yung internet. Katulad din sinabi ko kanina, ito na yung cyberspace ito na yung mundo ng mga bata. So mahirap na i-restrict natin sila totally dun sa neighborhood, sa mundo na kinakalakihan na nila. And also it can be perceived by children na punishment ang paggamit ng internet. So most probably kapag nakapag-sneak out sila in using the internet at na-harm sila, it will parang mahihirapan tayo makakuha ng disclosure sa kanila kasi iisipin nila na ala, bawal malaman ni ma'am or ni mami, ni daddy or ni nanay, tatay na nag-internet ako kanina or may nakausap akong stranger, lalo akong papagalitan. So hindi siya okay na ni-restrict natin sila. Ang what we can do is also syempre engage natin yung mga bata doon sa kanilang online activities. Mas yung maganda yung program ng Google at ng PLDT Home, no, yung Be Internet Awesome. So I think pag once madaanan natin lahat ng module doon, it will help us be more engaged doon sa online activities ng mga bata. Yun lang, Miss Joy. Thank you.
Mr. Gino, ano po ba ang minimum age na dapat nagso-social media? Kasi
I think yeah, may mga social media platforms naman na may age restriction katulad yung ang common is 13 years old, 'di ba? So yung younger kids dapat hindi na masyadong nag-internet. Pero regardless minsan kahit naman nagso-social media or nag-online games yung bata, depende doon sa harms, depende how we are engaging them, how we are protecting them as parents, as teachers, doon sa space nila.
Pero kayo po 13 and above is good enough.
Yeah, good naman. May mga proper apps naman. Halimbawa, kung YouTube, may YouTube Kids version naman na pwede. Yeah.
Okay. Sir Gino, segue. How do I encourage my kids to open up when he or she experiences online abuse or sexual exploitation? I know how important proactive reporting is, but what if they are not open to it? Marami pong takot, Sir Gino.
Yeah, nakita rin natin sa data natin talagang hindi masyado nagre-report yung mga bata. And lalong sobrang selective yung kanilang pagre-reportan. And ang sinasuggest natin, talagang ngayon pa lang, kumbaga internet active pa lang yung mga bata, hindi pa sila wala pang harm. Before pa mangyari ng harm, dapat pinagpo-foster na tayo ng ongoing communication between adults and the kids dun sa kanilang online activities, interested tayo anong games. Kung kailangan mag-Roblox tayo, mag-Roblox rin tayo, hindi man kailangan 24/7 din katulad nila. Pero at least alam natin sinong kalaro nila, ano yung usual games na ginagawa nila. Tapos, importante rin, Miss Joy, na alam ng mga bata, aware sila na, I think na-mention rin ng isang speaker kanina na, alam ng mga bata, whatever happens, kung may mangyaring harm sa kanila, it is not their fault. So, hindi kasalanan ng mga bata. Madalas kasi, they're very afraid to disclose because they think na mapapagalitan sila ng adults, yung ganyan. So, yun lang, I think.
Yeah, and I tell my son na isisiyang pa na wag makipag-chat with anybody na hindi niya kilala.
Mm-mm.
Importante yun eh. That's how they catch them sometimes, di ba? Nakikipag-chat.
Yeah.
And they pretend to be, their age. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Gino.
Thank you, ma'am.
And for Mr. Eves Gonzalez, what is the recommended screen time for kids? Kung ang mga bata ay sanay sa mas matagal na screen time kumpara sa recommended hours, ano po ang ma-advise ninyo upang malimit ang paggamit ng internet sa bahay? Mr. Eves? Is Mr. Eves with us? Ako, sa totoo lang, pinapatay ko ang wifi ng 10 p.m. para wala na silang choice. But let's hear from Mr. Eves if he's still here. Parang wala po siya. Miss Kat, can you answer that question po?
Ano po ulit yung question? Sorry.
What is the recommended screen time for kids? Kung ang mga bata
Andyan,
ay...
naka-unmute na po ako. I couldn't
Ayan,
unmute
Okay.
earlier.
Sorry.
Ayan,
Okay.
so I think, so number one, it's case to case, right? So depending on the age, depending on the needs, depending on, for example, naka full online ba yung anak mo or naka face-to-face class na siya. So really depending on the needs. But I think what we always believe in Google is that whatever you decide, it must be based on a mutual agreement between the parent and the child. Because the last thing you want is for that screen time to be something that the child resents or feels bad about. So the beginning here will be really to have a conversation with your child. So for example, you start with what are the things that your child needs to do online? So school, for example, 4 hours a day. So siyempre, 4 hours a day. And then pag-usapan nyo, do you like watching YouTube? Is 1 hour of YouTube enough for you? Or do you think you need more at night? Diba? So whatever the number you arrive at, it's always recommended that it is arrived at together with the child, and it's on a case-to-case basis. So I have a 7, I have a 5, I have a 2-year-old. So iba yung screen time ng 7 kasi mas meron na siyang advanced needs compared dun sa 2-year-old na konting-konti lang yung screen time, di ba? So always adopt your recommended screen time based on the specific needs of the child so that it's hindi siya the formula, but rather based on your agreement and to address yung pangangailangan ng child na to be online pa rin naman, especially nowadays nga na marami tayong naka-online school.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Eve. Segue ko na po. Some of the parents of my students, sabi, are not digitally literate or techie savvy. Di ba? Medyo hindi nila alam kung ano yung mga pipindutin dun sa cellphone or sa computer. So they themselves are not aware of the tools and safety measures needed to protect their children. In that case, what will your advice be? What simple safety measures can be done in the Google platform? Mr. Eves, are you still there? Mute kaya ulit siya? Oo, kasi yung ibang parents hindi talaga alam.
Ayun, sorry, I couldn't unmute. Okay, so number one, of course, is to attend webinars like this, diba? So hindi naman tayo lahat techie. But lahat tayo, we have the resources to attend webinars either live or yung mga kahit yung mga recorded na, diba? To watch those tools, to watch those webinars that are available out there because napakadami ng resources that are being made available to us. And then number two, I guess, would be to look for or to have like a mentor. So for example, lahat naman tayo sa mga Viber group natin, meron tayong mga kakilala na siya yung medyo advanced, di ba? So for example, ako sa mga Viber, sa Parents Viber group, ako yung nagtuturo sa mga fellow parents ko na kung ano yung mga tools that are available for them. So if we feel that we're not super techie, there's always somebody who's always willing to be like a mentor to us. So we have to look for those as a parent. So that yung mentor na yun ma-share sa atin na ay meron palang ganitong tool or meron palang ganitong capability yung Google account ninyo. So with having those things, you know, by participating in all of these webinars as well as having a mentor, we can level up ourselves also and we can be better parents to watch over our kids.
Very well said, Mr. Eves. Thank you so much. And last question for Ms. Kat Diaz de Rivera. I know that the internet brings a lot of opportunities for my kids, pero paano ko ima-manage yon and ensure that my kids learn by themselves and not rely too much on answers found through the internet?
Nako, very dependent na tayo dyan. So, kumbaga, personally, it's all about siguro the constant guidance that we give to our children as parents and para sa mga teachers din natin na nandito para sa estudyante nila. And that we also take time to level with our kids and our students and to try to understand and appreciate yung mga platform that they are focused on, yung nakababad sila. Kanina nga, di ba, na-discuss yung Roblox, kung kailangan maglaro din tayo. So, wag yung siguro telling them to stop, di ba? Kasi pag pinatigil natin sila, mas mabilis eh. Pero, uulit din ulit. So, wag yung tendency natin pagalitan sila. So, without understanding them talaga. So, kasi, to be honest, yung mga web applications and digital platform na nandito sa atin ngayon is really hands down amazing and all wonderful. Useful, I would say. Kasi lahat naman are good, but we should take it moderately, balance it, and avoid abusing it to the point na naging dependent ka na. As a guide to our youth, so we can teach that everything should be in moderation and create a regular habit in engaging them from time to time, maybe weekly at the most, asking them what's new on social media and on the internet, asking them to share what they think of. So it draws from them yung reaction nila. Doon pa lang actually makikita mo na yung realizations din nila, and it will actually be a two-way street. So they learn and you learn from it. You also draw insights from them, and pinaka-importante doon is parte doon is there us parents and yung mga teachers natin na nandito, we can also share our own side of train of thought, yung mga experiences natin. And that's when you would be able to organically give your guidance that you will see will fit or will be able to be applicable for them. Be it balancing yung oras nila online and offline, so they get to appreciate both yung offline and offline. Then naturally, all of our conversation, itong mga conversations natin, will be ingrained on them as they grow and build their character, core values on trust and transparency, yung nandyan yung core memories na magkasama kayo, tayo mga parents with our kids and teachers and with our students. In my generation, when I was like at my teens, pag 'di ba, pag paulit-ulit na sinasabihan tayo ng mga magulang natin na yung mga reminders natin, you will forever remember that eh. Magiging conscious ka. So it's all about the quality time that you give, the engagement, the curiosity, doon sa world, sa mundo nila, that we as parents or as teachers na ini-invest natin, yun yung critical in managing and ensuring that they learn talaga. I
Okay.
hope you answered the
Thank you,
question.
Miss Kat. Yes, thank you very much. Mr. Gino, what is the punishment for cyberbullying? Usong-uso po ito at maraming estudyante, this is not a joke, sir. Marami po nagkaka-suicidal thoughts or, they really take their lives because of cyberbullying. Sobra-sobra po. Ano po ba ang punishment? At pagka may pinagdaanan yung mga batang ganito, what can the parents do? Who will they call to
Yeah.
report cyberbullying?
Yeah, I think it can be addressed inside the school pa rin, 'di ba? Meron tayong mandated na child protection committee within the school that can definitely help the parents, even the student who is victim of cyberbullying. So merong procedure pa rin na pinagdaan. Lalo syempre lalo kung sa school setting, parehas students yung mahirap namang ipapunish natin ng specific na nagagawin. Lalo wala namang specific law on cyberbullying sa Philippines. So I think pinaka-better is to address it via the Child Protection Committee of the school, and with the help also with the social workers in your city or in your barangay. May mga barangay council for the protection of children. Meron namang appropriate programs and mechanism and projects rin or activities that can help the parents, the teachers, and the student to address such issues. Yan po.
Oh, wala palang cyberbullying law. Panahon na.
Yeah.
Sir Gino,
Opo.
dapat gawa na yan sa Kongreso at sa Senado, hindi po ba? It's
Yeah.
about time. There are so many victims of cyberbullying. And okay, segue ako, Sir Gino. Are there particular ways or strategies that families who have turned away from OSAEC can go through rehabilitation?
Yeah, as I mentioned, meron din in cities, meron tayong mga local social welfare office or even yung mga local council for the protection of children. Meron yan sa city level or municipal level. Sa barangay level, meron ring BCPC or the barangay council. So they can help you rehabilitate, or the parents can can undergo counseling sessions. May mga professionals naman tayo within the government mechanism kung paano matutulungan yung mga parents dun sa rehabilitation processes nila.
Okay.
Yan. May mga may live, lalo kung usaik, lalo kung merong financial constraints yung parents, kahit napilitan ibenta yung picture ng anak kasi dahil walang pera, may mga livelihood program rin ng mga social welfare offices natin, even educational assistances for the children na victims ng different harms. So just be open in or be active in coordinating with our local government. Lalo ngayon, mas dumami yata ang resources ng mga local government natin dun sa mga new rules natin sa court. Yan.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Gino, for that information. And last question goes to Mr. Eves. Sir Eves, are the tools downloadable for free?
Yes, so I wanted to share two products that you can use for free. So number one, search nyo lang Family Link. So Family Link is a free product, free tool that allows parents to have control and supervision over their child's Google account and devices. So libre po to. Everyone, we encourage you to download Family Link. Maraming features like content moderation, location sharing, as well as screen time limits. So download Family Link. Number two, na-mention kanina sa YouTube. So ang YouTube, meron siyang bagong feature called YouTube Supervised Experience. So YouTube Supervised Experience is a setting that allows you to enable your child to be able to experience more of YouTube, pero still in a very safe manner. So for example, just as an example, comments are disabled. So if ayaw mong makita nung child mo yung mga comments sa isang video, automatically with the supervised experience, comments are disabled. Another example, so live streams are also disabled. So meaning to say, kasi hindi natin alam what can happen to a live stream, to protect your child from the possibility of seeing something in a live stream accidentally, it will automatically not be allowed. So YouTube supervised experiences is available now for all parents para magamit nila or maset nila ito sa account ng child nila. And of course, finally, Be Internet Awesome. So go to the Be Internet Awesome website. It is a free website available in English, Filipino, and Cebuano. You can learn so much from here. There is a free game that you can play together with your kids. There are modules there that for parents and teachers as well. So go through the Be Internet Awesome website and mandami kayong magagamit doon, hopefully with your interaction with your child.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Eves, and great questions from our audience, which I'm very happy we got covered. Thank you everyone for participating, and most especially we thank you, our speakers, Mr. Eves, Mr. Gino, and Ms. Kat, for finding the time to prepare these presentations and discuss these with us. We truly appreciate the insights and simply capacitating us to combat OSAIC and promoting online safety and responsible digital citizenship. May I ask our audience to share and type in the chat box, please, what you have learned from this webinar. Kahit 2 words lang po or a phrase, or if you want a sentence, we would really, really appreciate that. We would like to know so we can learn from your comments and maybe we can do better pa next time. So we'd like to hear from you po. And of course, we are not done yet. Of course, before we end, it is important for us to set standards within this community to ensure we stick to the fundamentals and guarantee full effect of this initiative. Now, to make this pledge a little bit interactive, we would like to encourage everyone to use their emojis as a sign of agreeing to the pledges. Iba't ibang emojis ang gagamitin natin sa pledge na ito. So please listen and watch the screen closely. Press thumbs up button if you pledge to be an ally of Better Today initiative, as I fully recognize the role that I play in creating a smarter, safer, and better world for our children. Thumbs up lang po. Press the heart button if you pledge to influence the youth. Show how a good digital citizen is so they can emulate the same as they explore the opportunities and positive impacts the digital world has to offer. Heart button lang po. Press the clapping emoji if you pledge to listen to the youth and empower them as they design and shape the digital future. Next, press the raised hand emoji if you pledge to actively educate kids about the online world, what causes harm and exploitation, and show them how to recognize online dangers and let them know that they can always be open about it so that we as guardians can help prevent it in the future. Next, press the party popper emoji if you pledge to protect the youth from the harm and risk present online, as I understand the consequences and effects it may cause to our children. Press the thumbs up emoji if you pledge to collaborate with parents and guardians and work together to create a safe and empowering environment for the youth, for them to enjoy and harness the positive aspects of the internet. Finally, press the happy emoji if you pledge to promote the Better Today initiative to raise awareness about child rights and safety. Consequently, you create a generation of responsible digital citizens. Thank you so much, everyone. There we have it. We are now allies of protecting children from the dangers online and promoting online safety. And I hope we all stay committed to this pledge. Now we move on to the much awaited portion of this event, the raffle. Alam kong yan ang pinakahihintay ninyo at napaka-exciting dahil madaming nag-register sa raffle natin. Parang almost 300 po ang nag-register. I'm not sure if na-announce ko na kanina yung winning prizes, pero eto po yun. Nasabi ko na to sa Facebook, but I will announce it again. The prizes to be given out are 10 500 peso load cards, 10 1,000 peso load cards, 10 pocket Wi-Fis, and I think everyone will be excited about the grand prize. We have one Apple iPad 32 GB up for grabs. So very exciting ito. So we'll start with the raffle draw for the 500 peso load card, and the last will be for the Apple iPad. Okay, let's do it. Asan na ang ating pa-raffle dito? Nag-register kayo po, ano? Kasi hanggang 3 o'clock lang po yun. So, paano ba ito? Ano nga? Ang team natin, let's call on our team, PLDT team. Ano ang ating raffle draw dito? Okay. Okay, kailangan na natin mag-raffle draw 500, 500 peso load card. Maybe I think they will just raffle it randomly. So, kung hindi po namin ma-announce ngayon, pakiintay na lang po ang sa mga message box ninyo sa Messenger or sa email ninyo kung kayo po ay nanalo. Okay? Kasi parang nagkaka-technical problem ata kami. So, okay. They will just do the raffle, I think, after the program. Tama ba? Wala pa napa-flash. Wala ang napa-flash. So, ganito na lang. They will just raffle it and then we'll try to announce it before we end the show. At kung wala, again, please abangan nyo na lang po ang messenger ninyo. Or,
Miss Joy, ayan na po.
Ay, ayan na ba? Okay.
Yan.
Asan na tayo? Ayan, meron na pong nanalo. Okay, sorry. Asan na tayo? 5 internet. Daga. Wala. Nasaan na ang nanalo? 5 internet awesome. Hindi yan. Saan po naka-display ang winners? Hindi ko makita.
Ayan
Help!
po, 500 load.
Saan?
Ang ano
Will it be on the chat
natin,
box?
nasa chat box po.
Ayan. Okay. 500 peso load cards. Ayan. Cheryl Abila, Sharon Silang, Gloria Bravo, Marisol Zamora, Nerissa Tan, Maria Lizadel Cabanban, Mary Grace Almojuela, Dolores Hermosura, Liza Villanueva, and Jennifer Donaceles Valencia. Congratulations! Parang si Mami, happy sa first page. Mami, kayo pa ba nanalo? Si Needs. Ayan, mukhang nanalo. Okay. Sige, ang next po natin is the 1,000 load cards. Ayan na. Laika Olvida, Rio Araneta, Jennifer Palma Araneta, Milagros Pan, Lenny Banasihan, Helen Austria, Alegre Aida, Gina Perino, Luis San Miguel, and Marisid Ninette Derequito. Ayan, congratulations! Bago natin i-flash yung next na pocket wifi, may nagtatanong po, Ma'am, meron po bang certificate ang participants on this webinar? Thank you. Miss Kat, meron po ba? Okay. Sige, the minor prizes were pre-drawn na pala. Ang ruleta po lang natin mamaya is for the grand prize, yung iPad. Okay. 10 pocket wifi. Jennifer, 38. Jeline Bara, Mirna Bontia, Myra Bahasan, Camela Anduhare, Clarice Renedo, Cheryl May Uyanguren, Lizelle Pineda, Margarita Afundar, and Evangeline Osuyos. Congrats! Okay. Pwede na tayo magroleta. Ito na yung pinaka-aantay nila, yung Apple iPad 32 GB. Ay, parang kasali bang host?
Baka dyan yung pangalan ko.
Parang dapat ata kasama ang host at mga speakers. No? Okay. Game. Nasaan ang ating roleta? Ay! Ang dami-dami! Okay. Game na. Wala po itong, ano po ito ha? Very fair. Walang dayaan. So kung kanino mag-land yung yung roleta, ayun po ang mananalo. Apple iPad 32 GB. Go for it! Ang mahiwagang roleta, spin na po natin. Parang ayaw ayan, spinning. Oh my gosh! Magkano na bang iPad ngayon? Parang 50,000. Tama ba? Depende sa gigawatt. Eliza Vasquez! Are you here? Ay, kailangan mag-turn on ng camera. Kung wala si Eliza dito, iba ang mananalo. Is she here? Wait.
Maybe Eliza can raise her hands para ma-pin natin siya.
Eliza, are you there? Kung wala ka,
Please raise your
Eliza,
hand.
I will give you 10 seconds. Kung hindi ka mag-raise ng hand at mag-open ng camera, magsispin kami ulit.
Ayan, may nag-raise. Nasaan na siya?
Si Eliza ba yung nag-raise? Yun ang magandang tanong.
Yun ang tanong.
Eliza, may camera ka ba?
Please raise your hand.
Eliza, galaw-galaw ang baso.
Parang walang Eliza sa participants.
Ala.
Pag sinesearch, wala.
Naku. Ay, di mo, gusto nyo ba mag-spin ulit? Itaas ang kamay kung sino gusto mag-spin ulit.
Spin, wala siya eh.
Paano yan? Di spin ulit? Wala eh. Eliza ha, binigyan ka namin ng chance.
Marami nag-raise ng hand.
Hindi kasi, let's just make sure that Eliza is not here.
Yeah.
Is she here? Eliza, kahit walang camera, kahit lang
siya.
audio.
Wala din po sa listahan.
Wale. Nako, Eliza, sayang ang Apple iPad mo. So Charm, spin ulit? Depende sa ating mga audience na natira. Okay ba sa inyo? Spin ulit?
Spin ulit.
Okay, go Miss Joy.
Nakakatawa lahat. Okay, Goro Bells. Ulitin natin ang mahiwagang spinner. Eliza, pasensya. Okay.
Malungkot sila kanina na nakikinig sa akin pero dito talagang nakangiti eh.
Alert! iPad. Okay, game. Spin ulit tayo. Ang dami nag-raise ng hand. Wave ulit. O siya. Okay. Again ha, 10 seconds. Open camera and open mo yung mag-unmute kayo para alam namin na nandyan po kayo. Okay, game. Spin. Charm. Saan ang ating mahiwagang roleta?
Meron na po.
Ayan, Ruby Balang, tama ba?
Ruby O. Balang. Ayan! Nag-on cam po. Congrats!
Hanep ma'am, pahiga-higa lang May iPad.
Kasi nahihilo po ako masama pakiramdam ko.
Nahihilo si ma'am.
iPad
Habang
Medyo
nakikinig.
mataas pong BP. Yes po.
Ay, hi Ma'am Ruby. Anong eskwelahan po kayo, ma'am? Teacher po o parent?
Yes po. Daycare worker po from Mataas na Kahoy.
Saan pong lugar?
Batangas po.
Batangas po, Mataas na Kahoy.
Ay! Ma'am Ruby, congratulations! iPad! Apple iPad. May iPad na po ba kayo, ma'am?
Naiyak ako. Wala po. Wala.
Ay, this is
Cellphone lang
for
po
you!
gamit ko. Oh my God.
Ayan ang meant to
Medyo
be.
masama pong pakiramdam ko, nahihilo ako, mataas po BP ko eh.
Ako, Ma'am Ruby, baka lalong tumaas dahil nanalo po.
May tubig po ba kayo dyan? May tubig.
Oo, tubig muna, tubig.
Thank you.
Oy, naiyak si Ma'am Ruby.
Congrats po. Happy Teachers
Thank you
Month.
po.
Happy Teachers Day, Miss
Happy
Ruby.
Teachers Day.
Maraming salamat. Mr. De Las Chica, you're there pala. Thank you for attending. Nakakatuwa. Ayan, si Ma'am Ruby.
Masama po talaga pakiramdam ko.
Wala na bang iPad? Wala na. O siya.
Wala po.
Okay.
Wala ko, matagal ko nang
Baka
limit
may
ma'am.
Oo, sana merong free wifi sa buong taon.
Dapat PLDT.
Yun nga.
To claim po ang price.
Okay. Ma'am Ruby, congratulations.
Paano daw po i-claim yung prize? Kailangan nyo pumunta ngayon ng PLDT bago mag 4 p.m.
Uy,
Biro lang po.
Malayo po kami.
Sir Gino, ha?
We'll get
Biro
in
lang
touch po. We'll get in touch.
Iko-kontakin po
agad.
kayo ng team ng PLDT.
Okay po, okay po.
After this po.
Thank you,
Congrats
Lord.
ulit.
Thank you po, thank you.
Congrats po. Happy National Teachers Month.
Thank you po.
Everest, Miss Castro. Miss Castro, thank you also for attending. And thank you to all the teachers who attended. Naku, nakakatuwa naman po ang ating event. But to commemorate our event, let's please give a warm virtual welcome to Assistant Vice President and Head for Stakeholder Management of PLDT and SMART, Miss Steph Orlino. Miss Steph, please watch this video.
Nakabahan ako.
Ano bang video natin for Miss Steph?
Good afternoon to all and happy Teachers Month. Thank you to everyone who's joined us in this learning session and grateful to our partners ECPAT Philippines and Google. We all know that the internet and digital tools present a wealth of opportunities, especially for the youth who are now growing up alongside technology. Our role then is to enable them to live up to their full potential with the aid of technology and allow them to do so in a safe and secure environment, both online and offline. That is why we at PLDT and SMART endeavor to provide Filipinos with not just fast, accessible, and reliable internet, but also a safe and secure digital experience, especially for the children. And we do this by first investing heavily in a child protection platform that detects, responds, and prevents end-user access to online child sexual abuse materials 24/7. We're also part of the Safer Kids PH Consortium that helps strengthen the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children through policy making, technology, and capacity building. Since 2020, we've ramped up our cybersecurity awareness campaign for teachers and students with topics such as internet safety, data privacy, spotting and combating fake news, and responsible social media use. We've also partnered with Google on the Be Internet Awesome program that promotes values-based internet safety and digital citizenship among Filipino children. And with the session this afternoon, with our partners from ECPAT Philippines and Google, we hope that we've been able to equip you as well with the knowledge that you can share with your students and your children that will arm and protect them from the risks and threats, both online and offline, while they navigate the digital space. I am confident that this afternoon, we've created co-champions in you, our teachers, because we all need to work together to create a better today for our youth so that they can have their best future. Thank you again. Good day.
Thank you for the encouraging message, Ms. Steph. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for making this event a successful one. To our speakers, napakahusay ninyo. Maraming salamat. And to our partners who made this event possible, ECPAT Philippines, PLDT Home, and Google. Thank you very much po. Kaya to celebrate, inaanyayahan namin kayong lahat to open their cameras for a quick photo op. 10 pages po ito. Ready na po mag-screenshot? Okay. Smile. Charm, are you taking it?
Yes, go ahead po.
Second page na ba?
Yes.
Okay. Third
Okay,
page.
next. Apa, 4. Okay, next. Next. And next. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you again. We will contact all the winners how to claim your prize. And that's a wrap. I am your host, Joy Ortega. It has been a pleasure being your host for Better Today for Kids. Happy Teachers Month to all our beloved teachers. Thank you po for your service to our country, for all the patience and the love that you give to our students. More power po sa inyong lahat. And thank you to everyone again who joined us today. Stay safe and don't forget to spread the joy and not the virus. See you again soon. Bye.
To our dearest teachers, I personally want to thank you po for playing a huge role in our lives, for your patience and hard work to teach us many things, bukod po dun sa mga dapat namin matutunan sa school, pati na rin po yung mga life lessons that you've taught us and that we should always bring wherever we are and as we move on to the next chapter of our lives and as we grow old. May you continue to bring out the best in us, your learners, as we share the knowledge to others and be an inspiration to many. Happy National Teachers Month!
To all our teachers, thank you for the love, patience, and guidance and for sharing your wisdom to us. Happy National Teachers Month!
Hello to all the amazing teachers out there. I'm Jada, and I'd like to just say thank you on behalf of all students for bringing out the best in us and for helping us realize and maximize our full potential to reach for our dreams. Happy Teachers Day to you all. May you all feel a little more loved and recognized on this day.
Enjoy unlimited fiber at home. Now made faster with 150 Mbps. PLDT Home. Subscribe now.
With Smart's new Power All 99, I have the power to do what I want with 8 gigabytes for all sites and apps, plus only TikTok and only text. Best choice I made. Load now.
PLDT and Smart fight online child abuse. Think of the internet as a city. Within the city are different blocks where offices are built. The roads that run across the city would be the network of PLDT and Smart. The passing cars would be the information or files that go around the city. Within the city are bad people lurking in the shadows, and some of them take advantage of children, posting explicit photos and videos. Let's say one city block represents a domain. If one domain is a known haven for child sexual abuse materials, PLDT and Smart can simply block the roads leading to that entire district, preventing customers from getting into these offices. But the challenge comes when files are being uploaded from specific offices located in the city blocks, where legitimate businesses are also operating. PLDT and Smart can't cut the road leading to the entire district, because that would mean cutting access to offices operating legally. So, PLDT and SMART gather information from different sources to find out their exact location. Think of it as getting tips from building administrators, security personnel, co-tenants, and local authorities. Once identified, PLDT and SMART can now block the specific street that leads to these offending offices while maintaining roads open to legitimate businesses. But you might ask, if PLDT and SMART own the roads, why can't they inspect every car that passes through? Well, the law does not allow PLDT and SMART to peer into every car that's on their network. It would be a violation of privacy laws. The roads are a pass-through infrastructure. PLDT and SMART may own the roads, but not the entire city. So, to protect children, they work with government and law enforcement agencies, as well as local and international organizations that advocate for the safety and rights of children. Together with our partners, PLDT and SMART are building a better today for our nation's future by creating safer spaces for kids and the youth, both online and offline. We are committed to help the Philippines attain the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 16, which promotes just, peaceful, and inclusive societies, including the end to abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and all forms of violence against children.
Hi everyone, I'm Erwan Yusuf and I run a production company called Fat Kid Inside Studios, and I have a distribution platform called Feature Media. We are spending an increasingly amount of time online, which means we're exposing ourselves more online. A few things that I do to make sure to protect myself is I only click on links that I know are verified or from sites that I know. So, when you type in any search query online, you can get thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of responses and links. And before you go into any rabbit hole of various links, make sure you only click the ones that seem legit, that seem like they have a lot of hits, that seem like the most authentic and proper ones. And that way you make sure you're only going to sources or you're going to websites that are quote-unquote safe for you. How I keep myself happy on the internet is to make sure to not forget about the outside world. I think it's great that we're so seamlessly connected, that we have access to high-speed internet on our mobile phones and also our desktops at home. But I really think it's important to also not lose touch with the outside world and make sure that you don't forget about real-life connection, about nature, about this beautiful world that you live in. With everything you get to experience online, you want to be able to share that with the people that you love offline. So make sure you put those safety measures in place for yourself, because at the end of the day, every day should be a safer internet day.
Hi there, my name is Laika Maravilla and I'm an educator. I create educational content covering topics from math, language, logic, study hacks, and internet safety. The internet is a tool. And much like any tool, you have to learn how to use it properly and you have to be responsible in the way that you use it. The one thing I try to practice every day pagdating sa internet is what I call the hype check. Every time something I see online, whether it's an email saying na, oh, nanalo ka ng $1 million, or merong isang article that you either strongly agree with or strongly disagree with na gusto mong i-share or gusto mong magkaroon ng comment about it, or even a post ng isang friend or any any random person on the internet na parang gusto mong sagutin kung mag-agree ka dito o hindi. You have to perform yung hype check first. So once you feel na okay, mabilis yata yung tibok ng puso ko, masyado yata akong emotionally invested sa sitwasyon na to, I hit pause. Anong gagawin mo dun sa pause na yon? You can use that pause to look at what you're typing. Basahin mo siya uli bago mo siya i-post. You can look at the article na i-share mo. I-verify mo lang really quickly. Ito bang source na to ay reliable? Ito bang information na to ay totoo? And kung makakita ka naman ng mga promos or ng mga giveaways na, nanalo ka dito. Tingnan mo uli. Tama ba yung website? Tama ba yung source? Nag-exist ba tong offer na to? When you get excited, when you get so emotional about anything you see online, hype check. Kasi yung hype check na yon is also a heart check and it gives you an opportunity to verify yung mga information na i-share mo. We may not be responsible for the things that we see online, the things that we watch online, but we are ultimately responsible for the things that we share, we comment, and we post.
Enjoy unlimited fiber at home. Now made faster with 150 Mbps. PLDT Home. Subscribe now.
99, I have the power to do what I want with 8 gigabytes for all sites and apps, plus only TikTok and only text. Best choice I made.
Thank you po for joining us today. We're gonna end the Zoom call in a while. Ayan. I think it's just us here sa call.
Yes, Miss Charm.
Ay, sino nagsasalta? Sorry. Who's that? Ay, hi, Miss Cathy. Miss Cathy, what happened? Maayos naman tayo kanina. Tapos,
Naiinis na ako eh.
ha?
Naiinis na ako kanina. Aisha, you there? Aisha, where are you?
Baka nag-break ata muna si Aisha. Uminom ng tubig or something.
Hi, magpapaalam na ako. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Congrats,
Gino.
congrats.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Let's
ma'am.
meet again, ha?
Yes, yes, yes.
Let's
Anytime.
plan for
Mga
the next,
insights.
next
Yes po.
partnership. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gino.
Bye-bye.
Charm, bali, organize natin yung post-mortem report natin for,
Yes,
kasi
oo.
for next week. So, ang points lang natin that we need to highlight is yung ayan nga, yung naging sakit sa bangs, yung mga what went wrong, and then what went well, and then ano yung so kumbaga from there we could know ano yung recommendations from there, and then and know the insights kung paano to make it correct next time, and then what else pa yung ano kailangan sa report, learnings, reco, and hold on na. So, listahan tayo, bale.
Apo.
So, ayun, from actually from the time na from the briefing to down to discussions na kung ano yung gagawin, tasking and everything. Hanggang nung tech run tayo kaninang umaga. So, including na dyan yung staging, partners, host, games, etc. Kung ano yung kailangan isama. Wala pa si no? Aisha.
Hi, nandito po. Sorry, nag-unstable kanina.
Alright.
Aish, we had a problem with the internet kasi din, no?
Yes po, nag-switch from PLDT to Smart. Yun. Tapos, 2 lines nun. So, 3 lines sana, pero 2 lines yung nagamit.
Miss Charm?
Yes po.
For the game winners, kasi supposedly Miss Joy was supposed to announce it before it ends, pero na-skip niya yung announcement. So, can we just send you the list and then yung mga nag-register na lang po doon sa raffle?
Meron sa chat. Wait lang ha. I'm opening the chat ulit. Na sinend na. I'm opening it now. Ay, si Aish. Oo, yung winners. I have na the list of winners. Wala pa dito yung raffle. Sorry, yung sa games.
Sa games.
Yun yung 50, di ba? Sige. Pa-send na rin sa amin ng ganito.
Nandiyan din po yung sa games.
Load cards, game 2 winners, pocket wifi, 1,000 gold, game 3 winners. Okay. Sige. Yung sa lang, yung sa grand price natin na iPad, pwedeng pa-screenshot na din, pa-share it to us. Hindi kasi din namin na note